There was a time when your attention belonged to you. You could sit alone with your thoughts, read a book for hours, have dinner without checking a screen, drive somewhere without reaching for a notification every few minutes. That world no longer exists. Today, some of the richest companies in human history are competing for one thing: not your money, not your labor, your attention. Because attention became the most valuable resource on Earth. The longer they keep your eyes on a screen, the more advertisements they can show, the more products they can sell, the more behavior they can influence, and the more profit they generate. The average American checks their phone hundreds of times every day, not because they choose to, because modern technology was specifically engineered to make stopping feel impossible. And what began as a convenience has quietly become one of the largest psychological experiments ever conducted. Tonight, we're exposing how distraction became a trillion-dollar industry and why millions of Americans are slowly losing the ability to think independently without even realizing it. Most people believe companies like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X are technology companies. They're not. At their core, they're attention companies. Their product isn't content. Their product is you. Think about it. You don't pay to use most social media platforms. Yet these companies are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. How? Because advertisers pay for access to your attention. Every second you spend scrolling becomes inventory. Every click becomes data. Every pause on a video becomes information. The moment corporations discovered they could monetize human attention, a new economic race began. And unlike previous industries, there was no natural limit. Oil companies could only sell so much oil. Car manufacturers could only sell so many vehicles. But attention companies? They wanted every available second of your life. Waiting in line, using the bathroom, eating lunch, lying in bed, watching television, even spending time with family. Nothing was off limits. Technology stopped competing for market share. It started competing for consciousness itself. The result? Entire teams of neuroscientists, behavioral psychologists, and software engineers began working together to answer one question: how do we keep people engaged for just a little longer? Because one extra minute multiplied by millions of users translates into billions of dollars. And for the first time in history, human distraction became one of the world's most valuable commodities. People often blame themselves. I lack discipline. I have poor focus. I'm addicted to my phone. But what if the problem isn't entirely you? What if your phone was designed to defeat your self-control from the beginning? Think about notifications, red dots, buzzing sounds, like counters, follower counts, infinite scrolling, autoplay videos. None of these features exist by accident. They exploit ancient reward systems inside the human brain. Every notification creates anticipation. Every like creates validation. Every new post creates uncertainty, and uncertainty is powerful. Casinos learned this decades ago. The possibility of reward keeps people playing longer than guaranteed rewards ever could. Technology companies simply digitized the same principle. You never know what the next scroll might bring. A funny video, breaking news, a message, a compliment, an opportunity. And because you never know, you keep checking. Again, and again, and again. The result is a generation trapped in a continuous cycle of dopamine seeking. Not because they're weak, because the system is optimized to exploit predictable human behavior. The average user thinks they're consuming content. In reality, the content is consuming them. Their time, their focus, their energy, their mental clarity. One notification at a time. The greatest cost of distraction isn't lost productivity. It's lost thought. Deep thinking requires uninterrupted attention. The ability to sit with an idea, question assumptions, analyze information, reflect, challenge beliefs. But modern technology constantly interrupts that process. The moment boredom appears, people reach for a screen. The moment silence arrives, they open an app. The moment discomfort emerges, they seek distraction. And over time, something dangerous happens. People lose their tolerance for thinking. Because thinking often feels uncomfortable. Complex issues require patience. Understanding economics requires focus. Building wealth requires delayed gratification. Personal growth requires self-reflection. But distraction offers an easier alternative. Endless stimulation, instant entertainment, immediate emotional relief. As a result, many Americans are becoming incredibly informed, yet strangely unable to think critically. They consume thousands of opinions, but develop very few of their own. Algorithms decide what they see. Algorithms decide what they discuss. Algorithms decide what they fear. And eventually, people mistake algorithmic influence for independent thought. Without realizing it, their worldview is increasingly being shaped by systems optimized for engagement rather than truth. And that may be one of the most profitable outcomes of all. Most people assume distraction is merely a personal problem. It's much bigger than that. Distraction has become an economic problem, a wealth problem, a societal problem. Because attention drives decision-making, and decision-making drives financial outcomes. People who can't focus struggle to learn new skills. They struggle to build businesses. They struggle to invest consistently. They struggle to plan long-term. Meanwhile, the economy increasingly rewards those capable of maintaining deep focus. The gap between distracted individuals and focused individuals continues to widen. One group spends hours consuming, the other spends hours creating. One group reacts, the other plans. One group follows trends, the other builds assets. Over decades, the difference becomes enormous, and this creates a new form of inequality. Not merely wealth inequality, attention inequality. Those who control their attention increasingly control their future. Those who surrender it become customers in someone else's business model. The attention economy doesn't just sell products, it quietly determines who accumulates wealth and who remains trapped chasing the next notification. But here's what's truly terrifying. Technology companies aren't the only ones competing for your attention anymore. Now there's something even more powerful entering the game. Artificial intelligence. Systems that can predict your behavior, influence your decisions, and eventually understand your habits better than you understand yourself. The next chapter may completely redefine work, wealth, education, and human value itself. And millions of Americans are completely unprepared for what's coming. Next episode. AI is coming for your job, and most people have no idea. See you in episode 4.